Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, my name is Connie Pastorius. You all know me, and I am presenting Happy Healthy Holidays since we are pretty much elbow deep into the holiday season, and I really wanted to make this as a webinar, but Zoom was not agreeing with me. So, let's get right to it, shall we? I'm real excited about this. I do corporate. Um, so I do corporate wellness as, one of the billion things I do as a fitness professional. And this one went over really well with Empire Blue Cross. So let's dive right in because I know you are a busy mom and you got stuff to do. So we are going to go right to it. Having said that, let's begin, please. So again, this is presented by me, Connie Pastorius. I'm my bachelor's in science, and I'm an ACSM certified health and fitness specialist. I'm a lead trainer for Shape Up NYC, and as you probably know by now, I'm an online fitness coach. So you can find out more about me and do a nice little bit of creeping by going to conniepastorius.com. Hi. So, on today's agenda, we are going to talk about some cool stuff. This is the top nutrition mistakes that folks make going into the holiday season. We're going to talk how to avoid making those mistakes. And then I'll give you some nice actionable items, which is one of my favorite things to give away, how you can make room for the fun stuff while still maintaining your weight and fitness goals. So, question on everybody's mind, why listen to me? So, like I said, I have a bachelor's of science in health science and wellness from the University of Pittsburgh, my hometown of Pennsylvania. I am an American College of Sports Medicine certified exercise physiologist, and throughout all of my career as a fitness coach, I've always been a yoga instructor. So I am a 500-hour registered yoga teacher, and spending those 10 years in the industry, I've been helping men and women get stronger, gain energy, and feel like the best version of themselves through healthy habit-based coaching. Clearly, spell check, not one of my fortes, but here we are. So, going right into it, the top nutrition mistakes made during the holidays. So, the three things we're going to talk about, and these are, a little bit indirectly, you might originally think what these mistakes are, but I'm going to have you think a little bit differently about them. So, one sip of coffee, and we're going right to it. So, seasonal scarcity mentality is one of them. Ignoring your cues is another, and then failure to plan. Those top three mistakes. So, seasonal scarcity mentality. I might have made up that phrase, but I think once I explain it, you're going to know what I'm talking about. So, just because oh my gosh, my spelling is just off today. Just because pecan pie is in abundance this time of year, it doesn't mean it's only available now. And the same goes for chocolate, for stuffing, for mac and cheese, for pumpkin, everything. That is one of the mistakes that folks make, is thinking that just because we are inundated with these particular food items, that it means that we have to eat as much as we can while it's around. Because the truth is, pumpkin is always on the shelf at the grocery store, right? Chocolate is always available. It just depends on whether it's Halloween M&Ms or holiday M&Ms or Easter M&Ms. So ignoring cues is another one. So the time of year, this is a really interesting one, and I want you to think about how this applies to you. So thinking about warming foods versus cooling foods, salads versus soups, and the cues that your body might be giving you, you might notice, for example, if I think about eating a salad this time of year, I just get angry and I get a little bit colder because my body is craving to be warm. I love being warm. And ignoring those cues would be getting angry and force feeding yourself a salad, but then not feeling satiated, not feeling like you got what you needed. So, as far as ignoring cues, we're also talking about having pressure, feeling pressured to overindulge. Having the meals. I mean, are there people here watching this that have um, like a 20-pound turkey and like three people that eat them? I'm not even really a turkey person in general, so that reminds me, I have to figure out what I'm having on Thanksgiving. Anyways, just because it is, customary to have a feast doesn't mean we have to have a feast. And then the cues that come with increased sedentary behavior. And you might have noticed this after a few months of sitting wherever you call a desk right now, whether it's in your bed, whether you're like me and you've kind of repurposed your side table in your bedroom as a desk, wherever it is that you find yourself sitting more and more often and ignoring those aches and those pains and just the desire to get up and move around. And then the last mistake that people make is a failure to plan. So being in a reactive state almost always sets you up for making unhealthy decisions, right? So if you know what to expect, you can adjust accordingly without overindulging. Moving along. Credit to Canva, by the way, for making presentations look really good with a very small amount of effort. That is my kind of life hack. So let's talk now about how to avoid those mistakes. I wish I could take credit for that smoothie bowl because it is beautiful, but it is not me. Let's talk about 3 ways to avoid those mistakes. The first one is giving yourself permission. The second one is listening to your body and being mindful. And then the last one is making a plan and following it. Let me explain. Avoiding these mistakes. So, giving yourself permission, that means finally accepting the reality or changing your reality to accept that there is no such thing as good food and bad food. And letting go of those taboos around the perceived bad foods will make them less desirable, right? Let's go back to the feast example. If you normally don't eat pie, it's not integrated into your diet. You're not normally someone that goes out looking for pie, but Thanksgiving shows up and there are like 4 different kinds of pie on the plate, on the table. You're gonna think, oh my God, I never get pies. I know these are bad for me, but it's Thanksgiving, so I'm just gonna eat a bunch. And then that's not even the worst part of it because one meal doesn't really, ruin our progress, ruin our plans or whatever. It's having 4 leftover pies and still eating them every next day, even though you have this conversation in your head every single day. Oh, this is bad, I shouldn't be having this. But then you have, justified answers and reasons A, B, and C. So instead, just giving yourself permission. I'm going to have a piece of pie. It's nice. I'm not going to eat it every single day, but my grandma's recipe is really special to me, so I'm going to enjoy it. So really cutting out the neurotic, chatter that's in your mind that's giving you, 10 reasons why you shouldn't have something or 10 reasons why you should have something, and kind of like flicking that devil off your shoulder and just saying, you know what, I'm going to eat pie. The end. Don't come at me. So making a plan is another way to avoid these mistakes. And knowing what's ahead will give you peace of mind as well as something to look forward to. And those are the 2 things that I love most about making a plan, and it's been a really great, relationship building tool. So first of all, let me talk more about giving you peace of mind, because women specifically, we love stability and we love structure and we love knowing what to expect. So having that meal plan out, or at least knowing what you're going to eat throughout the week leading up to Thanksgiving, kind of lets you relax a bit, and you don't have to have that anxious feeling of like, how many pounds am I going to gain in one meal having this Thanksgiving food. So letting yourself have that peace of mind, not wondering where your next meal is going to come from, right? Because for us, that means 5:30 rolls around, and then you get into this panic state of what's for dinner. And if you didn't make a plan, if you didn't pull out the frozen chicken the night before, or, marinate the shrimp, or put the rice on the cooker earlier, you're either going to do one of 2 things. You're either going to be frustrated and you're going to pull together whatever you can possibly pull out of the fridge that will constitute a dinner, or you're going to order in. And guilty as charged, a lot of these things are coming anecdotally from my own personal experience, as well as experience that my clients have shared with me. But the other part of making a plan that's really cool is having something to look forward to. And what that does, whenever we see that pizza night is on Friday on the calendar, it gives you the ability to stick to your original meal plan. If you're making Buddha bowls for lunches during the week. If you're having, really healthy, balanced meals Monday through Thursday, you can stick to it knowing that there is that thing that's extra special at the end on Friday waiting for you. So you are less inclined to order in on an impulse if you know that you are giving yourself permission to have that special meal on Friday. And as far as relationship building things goes, when me and my husband were in lockdown, this gave us the opportunity to like stretch our creative muscles and think like, oh, well, we can't go anywhere right now. So how can we bring the places that we love into, our meals for every Friday or for every date night? So we would have an Italian restaurant type of themed night. Or one of my favorite examples is we started taking virtual salsa lessons from Salsa and Queens. And every night that we did that, every week that we did that class, we would order from a different South, sort of like Latin cuisine type place. So we got to explore different restaurants. We got to integrate the cuisine. We really kind of like immersed ourselves in that experience through some sangria together, because you throw fruit and some wine, and as far as I'm concerned, you made sangria. And it's just every little piece that puts it together adds it makes it a little more special. And we're stuck inside together, so we might as well make the most of it. And then lastly, avoiding the third mistake of not listening to your body. And this one is really important, because I do think there's a lot of pressure to ignore our body cues. So not buying a pumpkin spice latte or a gingerbread or peppermint mocha just because you walk past a Starbucks. And same with listening to your body by exercising when you feel like you've been sitting around too long. So if your body says, hey, Connie, I'm feeling a little achy in my hips and my knees, I think we need to, take a walk around the block, throw your kid in the stroller, or leash up the dogs and just take a walk around the block. It doesn't have to be a full blown workout, but just integrating more movement throughout your day in small manageable pieces. It will make a big difference, and it adds up. And then lastly, slowing down your eating, literally fork to mouth at a slower, at a lower miles per hour, and waiting for the cues to stop before feeling overfull is a very empowering, like feeling like you have that control, and it's not just a constant hand to mouth until you feel so sick and so full of food that it's almost like you're planning to feel like you ate too much. But literally just taking a bite, slowing down, have a conversation in between bites, really enjoy the food that you have, and then wait for that cue um, before feeling overfull. And I keep hitting the next button, but I actually have to click the over button. So here's how you can make room for the fun stuff while still maintaining your weight and fitness goals. Follow the 80/20 principle. And if any of my clients are in here watching this, they know exactly what I'm talking about. And this is a principle that has spanned beyond nutrition, but it's very applicable here. Hang on, another sip of coffee. It's very applicable in this context, and I'm going to explain why. The 80/20 principle. And we don't even call it a rule, because it implies rules are made to be broken, and then we're going through that cycle. So it's a principle. Plan and eat balanced, nutrient dense meals 80% of the time. The other 20% can be those whatever meals that won't ruin your progress. It's easy as that. Have you ever seen a diet plan or an eating plan in like 2 short sentences? That's it. So let's break down and see what this actually looks like. So let's assume you eat 3 meals a day for 7 days a week. That's 21 meals. Hang in there with me, math mamas. 80% is roughly 17 healthy meals. And I notice I don't say good meals or bad meals. These are nutrient dense meals that are balanced proportions, 17 out of the 21. That leaves 4 meals to fill in. That's more. That is more than just pizza night. That is pizza night. That is trip to the bagel shop in the morning. That is, maybe having pizza as leftovers with a little side salad for lunch. And this principle works when your 20%, your other meals are still in reasonable portion size. So I use the chicken parm example. Um, if you order something like chicken parm, it counts as one of your 20% meals as long as you still only have roughly a palm-sized portion of chicken and a not irresponsible portion size of the pasta. Also, not four meals made entirely of Oreos, though I would be interested in seeing that as a case study. Please don't eat, please don't eat your meals as street Oreos. Um, but do you see do you see where I'm going with this? If you so we'll go. I want to go back to this for a second. It's pretty straightforward. And if you take a step back from the math and stuff, I want you to think about the idea that if you are, exercising the minimum 3 days a week, if you are getting some amount of steps in, if 80%, if most of your food is packed full of nutrients that support your lifestyle in responsible portions, a meal here and there, just one, two, here, there, very few far between, it's not going to affect your goals. You can give yourself permission to eat whatever the hell you want. Whatever that food is that you keep feeling like, "Oh, I want to lose weight, but I don't want to give up this meal." You don't have to. And this shows it exactly. This proves why you don't have to, because whenever you give yourself permission to integrate the foods that you love into your diet, then it's not an unattainable thing. It loses its desire factor, that sinfulness that we associate with, ordering ramen because it's noodles and broth and, whatever unhealthy, whatever thing you perceive to be unhealthy. It's only unhealthy if you're eating it like more than you're eating healthy, nutritious foods. Okay, off the soapbox for a minute. Portion control made easy. So this is how I teach my coaching clients portion management, because unless you are used to measuring out and weighing food, and you are confident with your macro count, which is fine. If you've ever wondered, like, what would portion control look like if it were easy, you're looking at it. And here it is. For protein, women is one palm. Look at your hand and think to yourself the last time you had a chicken breast. And you're like, yeah, that's about what it looks like. We're looking around 3 ounces for protein for women. For men, it's 2. Don't come at me with the men versus women thing. This is nutrition. This is based on science beyond me, and it's just easier. Vegetables for women, 1 fist. Men, 2 fists. So let's look at our hand. Make a fist. Think of the last time you had a side of broccoli. You're like, yeah, that's about right. A serving of carbs. Don't run away screaming. Stay with me here. For women, 1 cupped hand. This is, I think, 3/4 of a cup. I could be wrong. But anyways, look at your hand, make it a cup. Not like a piled as high as you physically can put rice in your hand kind of portion, but putting your cupped hand out, responsible serving of rice. And then with fat, I'm sorry, rice, pasta, any grain, you'd assume one fair slice of pizza rolled out flat would equal about a handful. And then fat is 1 thumb. So thinking what a sliced avocado would be, or serving of walnuts or olive oil, 1 thumb, 2 thumbs. And then you would just adjust these portions up or down according to how frequently you eat, your caloric needs, how active you are, your results, your appetite, how frequently you eat. Hey, they put how frequently you eat in there twice. That's funny. And if that's something that's a little bit overwhelming, that's where having a coach comes in handy to help sort these things out for you. But we're not there yet. Anyways, this is another real quick example. Following the 80-20 principle in any time meal, and I've lived long enough to see multiple iterations of the food pyramid. Choose my plate, whatever they're saying, and look, pretty simply, the majority of your plate should be vegetables, including as wide of a variety as you can palate. And then having a quarter of this plate looking like your protein: red meat, chicken, fish, eggs, vegetarian source, beans, legumes. Get creative. Tofu. You know the jams. You know the good stuff. And then a small portion of it being fats. So this is oils, nuts, seeds, avocados, chia, whatever you can think of that is integrating healthy polyunsaturated fats into your diet. Now, I'm not saying pour a fifth of olive oil onto your plate, but as far as, if you imagine that was egg fried rice, for example, the oil and the, ingredients that you would add, maybe some peanuts and seeds into that stir fry, a very small portion of it is dedicated to fat. Also, having a conversation with everybody who puts extra guac on things at restaurants, that is way more than one portion. Anyways, let's move on. Um, so again, these are just basic. I'm sure you've looked through by now how you would build a plate using the portion rules on the right. Step one, put your protein on. There's about 20 to 30 grams, otherwise known as 3 ounces. Women, one fist size, one cupped hand size portion for grains, and then a thumb size portion of fats. And then with the dudes, a little bit more. So, lastly, we're going to talk about knowing your holiday meals and treats in advance. Do, 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 do. So, I'm all about meal planning, and this is basically what my kitchen table looks like either on Sunday mornings or Monday evenings, depending on, how my week is going. But I literally pick out a couple of my favorite recipe books. I have a binder you see on the left of all of the HelloFresh and Purple Carrot and all those recipe books that I got in those meal kits are in one binder, 3-hole punched and ready to access. That way I'm getting more money out of those kits than just the food that it comes with. And I also know at that point those foods that I had that I liked. And then I start building out. Start with the easiest thing you know. If you know exactly what you plan on eating for breakfast every day, fill them in. If you know exactly what you're having for lunch, fill it in, or skip the lunch part and then build out dinner. And then whatever your dinners are, make double quantities and put them in the following day for leftovers. Know your meals in advance. Hey, I said click. And then taking the desire to indulge off the table. And then build your holiday meal into the day. So keeping that meal within the 80-20 principle and you'll be fine. So like I said before, no one told you gotta pile on that food. But if it happens for one day, okay, don't feel guilty. All right. So that's the big thing. If you're not at that point yet where you're okay with taking a cup full of stuffing and that's it and then you move on with your life, then fine. That's your thing. Enjoy your meal and enjoy the food as it is, knowing, this is a special day. Da 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 da. And then move forward and let go of the guilt that you often attach yourself to it. Because I would rather you eat a little bit, eat a couple too many calories, but save yourself the emotional struggle of feeling bad about it than I would being mad at me and starving yourself on Thanksgiving, right? I care more about the mental component right here with our nutrition behaviors. We can minimize the effects of eating a little too much easier than we can undo the mental self talk that comes with destroying ourselves whenever we feel bad about what we ate. And then lastly, I'm not going to leave out making time for fitness. So, again, this is an important factor in staying healthy throughout the holiday season. And, we got kids. We know what it sounds like whenever they say, I don't like this or I don't like that. You know that there's an opportunity if you have this initial response of, oh, I can't exercise because it's cold out and I don't like being cold. Like, is that really a barrier that you want to stop at, or could we troubleshoot and think of some solutions that could get you exercising regardless of the temperature? And that's pretty much it. So I'd love to connect with you. I mean, we're obviously hanging out here in the group, and I'm so glad that you did take the time to watch this presentation. I'm going to make sure it stays up. But plain old me is on Facebook at Connie Pastorius. I do teach virtual classes, cardio body weight hit. I also teach yoga classes that are for free to you all. And I'm on Instagram at Connie Pastorius. So, having said all of that, I am also looking for 7 more mamas who are looking to take all of these principles, who are looking to level up their health and fitness and go from the chaos that is their life to crushing it in the next 12 weeks. So, this program is done remotely, so you can participate from anywhere, any part of the city, whether you're away at your escape from the city house, or if you're out visiting family, no matter where you're at, this can work. Secondly, the program that I'm launching is brand new, and there are different and new elements than I have done in the past. And because of that, I am looking for people to test out this program, get some amazing results, so that I can use their results as case studies and making sure that all the kinks are worked out in this program. So a little bit of feedback's appreciated. And for that, I'm offering it at a very deep discount. So if you're interested in hearing more about whether this is the health and fitness solution that you've been looking for, please DM me or comment below, and we'll get talking to see if we could turn you into a strong, badass, awesome woman that I know you already are. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Just kidding. What questions do you have for me? So I am here in the group, but what you can also do is just post in the comments if you have questions about this particular method. The just questions with meal planning, with recipes, with the holidays, with workouts. I am an overflowing fountain of information. So feel free to post in the comments if you have questions, and I will respond as best to my knowledge. And if not, I will find an answer for you. So, other than that, thanks so much for participating in this. And I hope you all have a great weekend and a great holiday. So stay strong, stay hydrated, stay caffeinated, and I will see you on the mat and in the group.